everyone you know. The wait is over. 98.5 Speed FM.
Catch us if you can.
Stay here with you. You are a rainbow, so I am lucky one. I am lucky one. You are my favorite song. I am lucky one. I am lucky one. I am lucky one. Seasons change, but you're the same. Your love is constant. You've never lost it. Your voice is calling out my name. It makes me miss you, even when I'm with you. Oh, nobody wants to go it alone, and I just wanna stay here with you. So I am lucky one. I am lucky one. You are my favorite song. I am lucky one. I am lucky one. I am lucky one. I am lucky
A speedy welcome to the show for everyone. This is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host today on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and the Speed Lane is where we take everyday issues that affect our homes, our communities, our lives, and our society in general. And then we get to talk about them and we'll also get to hear your opinion. Now, today we are looking at something very close to our daily lives, and that is reliance on digital communication. Why are we relying too much on digital communication and thereby forgetting about real life connection? So that is our focus for today, over reliance on digital communication. Why are we forgetting about the real life connections and then relying too much on digital communication, from texting to WhatsApp, and then social media to emails and DMs? You know, screens have become our main way of connecting with people, even getting vital information. But what happens when we start depending on them more than real life conversations? Let's talk about it. And you also can call in to be part of this conversation. And the number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. It's 0807 773 3336. Why are we relying too much on digital communication instead of seeing somebody in real life? Well, everyone wants to text and then say things online. Okay, we get that it's convenient and it actually passes information faster than for you to travel from wherever you are, to come give someone a greeting or even an important information. But what happens when it starts replacing our connection in real lives, how we actually operate? Do you think this affects us negatively? Is it all positive? Well, We are going to be talking about all of that today. So why are we relying too much on digital communication, and how do you think this is affecting us? Do you think this is good? Do you think this is bad? Do you think it's both? And then what can we do about it? Because if something is worth, asking those questions, whether it's good, if it's affecting us negatively, then we have to find a solution, right? Now, digital communication is everywhere and it's convenient. Like I mentioned, families send messages instead of maybe talking at the table, even in the same house. People in the same house, be communicating online and sending chats instead of actually coming out to look at the other person's face. Someone might forget about his or her grandma, in the village, because he has gotten his grandma, a phone, and he can down message and then say, how are you doing, grandma? Or just talk on the phone without actually checking what is going on there. But it goes deeper than that. Apart from just checking, okay, what is going on with somebody, it goes deeper than that. But we are going to be looking at all of that today. Friends chat online but rarely meet in person, and even workplaces rely heavily on emails and instant messaging for important discussion. But this reliance, brings problems sometimes. And we are going to be looking at that as well. Misunderstandings become common because tone and emotion are lost in messages. Relationships become shallower. Kids and young people grow more comfortable typing than speaking face to face, thereby shutting down their confidence when it has to do with real life conversations. So why are we relying too much on digital communication, in just talking online and then sending messages? I would say that is something that most people are guilty of these days. So why are we doing that? You also can call in and be part of this conversation. And the number for you to call is 0807 773 3336. That is 0807 773 3336. Why are we relying too much on digital communication? And also, you as a person, do you prefer to actually relate with people in real life these days, or just send messages online and then be fine with it? Hello? Do you prefer to maybe just send those messages, online, and then even if you have not seen that person in years, then it doesn't matter to you? Well, because the message is passed and you're still checking in on someone. Now, while this can be good, it can also be bad. And that is where the problem comes. When it's too much, when it becomes over-reliance, relying on it, just barely or from time to time is okay, right? But when it becomes over-reliance, it's doing something to us and it's affecting us. And we have to figure out, is it all positive, or is it also affecting us even more negatively than people realize? Because we wake up and then we don't even want to know how, people from the other side, people that we need these connections with, we don't want to know how they're doing. A certain even workplaces, information or discussions that are supposed to maybe be made in real life to come with good solutions, right? People just sit and then send these emails, and some people don't actually take their time to even go through them, and they just find a reply. These days things are easier. You even copy the text that was sent to you and take it to some platforms, and then it generates a reply from you. So no one actually wants to take responsibility, and people are even becoming lazy, okay, because there is AI, there is this and that to do things for you. So there is no need to actually even try to connect or even try to reason in real life, because we have lost that ability to actually connect, in real life. So why are we relying too much on digital communication? Call in and be part of the show this morning. This is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and we are talking about over-reliance on digital communication. You also can call in to be part of this conversation, and the number for you to call is 087 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. It's 0807 773 3336. Why do you think people rely too much on digital communication? Call in and let us hear from you. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Abdullah. I'm calling from Kiana, Nasarawa State.
Okay, welcome to the show, Abdullah. We are talking about over-reliance on digital communication.
Yes, digital communication has come to stay whether we like it or not. The only thing we need to focus on is how to manage it. Especially going by the fact that the coming of the digital communication is affecting our educational system. Talking about our pupils in primary and secondary schools. So in our days, we used to, we are to habit of writing letter, reading letter, but nowadays, the habit of writing and reading is actually dying.
Okay.
So government need to actually intervene so that our pupils will not use to the new media. So actually, we have to do something about it.
Okay.
Yes, that's my contribution.
All right. Thank you so much, Abdullah, for calling in to be part of the show this morning. And if you have just joined us, this is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host today on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and we are talking about over-reliance on digital communication. Well, you also can call in to be part of this conversation and let us hear your opinion. And the number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. It's 0807 773 3336. Why are we relying too much these days on digital communication? Why do you think people rely too much on digital communication? Because if we start something, well, we have to find a cause, right? Why is it actually happening? Have people gotten too comfortable, or have we gotten too comfortable, with the benefits and how easy it is to just send a text? And even if you're frowning, where you send that text and then pass a different emotion over, or what exactly is happening? Why are people relying so much on digital communication? And we heard from Abdullahi, and he called from Nasarawa State, and he is saying that digital communication has actually come to stay, whether we like it or not. And what we actually have to do is to learn how to manage it before, it takes over all the real life connection. There's things that, those important things, some things, before some meetings were looked at as, okay, even if we communicate online, even if we chat online, when it comes to some things, then we have to do it in real life. We have to see that everyone is serious in real life to actually do it. But these days, well, even those important meetings that used to be excluded, that one must happen in a real life. People want to rely on internet. People want to rely online, to actually just pass certain kind of information, hold certain meetings. You even see it with like virtual meetings. You see on Zoom when people try to FaceTime and then have some kind of meetings. But then some people, you see different jokes online, and when you see some of these memes and jokes that people make around, that is what actually happens, because someone say, well, I dress like this to attend a meeting, and then it's just dressing from the top and looking smart from the top, or someone pretends, there is a network issue, and then just puts themselves onto that virtual meeting. Meanwhile, they are not paying attention, but actually sleeping somewhere. If you have seen some of these things online where people make some of those jokes, then you know that it actually comes from something that has happened. Really, it's not that people just come up with those ideas, because for them to actually get those ideas, it means that it actually happens. People pretend, to be paying attention or to actually be part of the meeting, when in real life, well, the meeting is going on, virtually on their phones, but they are probably maybe cooking somewhere, or just dealing with something else somewhere. But then who would know? Because we cannot even see each other in real life, and it's just on phone. So you also can call in to be part of this conversation. This morning, we are talking about over-reliance on digital communication. And the number for you to call is 0807 773 3336. That is 0807 773 3336. We are talking about over-reliance on digital communication. So call in and let us hear why you think people actually rely too much on digital communication these days, and how you think that is actually affecting us, whether it's good, it's bad. Well, let us know, and maybe give us, from your personal experiences, and what do you prefer to do? Maybe communicate online only, or do you still value those real life connections? Call in and let us hear from you this morning. Number for you to call is 0807 773 3336. That is 0807 773 3336. Call in and let us hear from you this morning on Over Reliance on Digital Communication. Hello. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Chris Man from Makodi.
Welcome to the show, Chris Man. We are
You
talking.
know, I love the program.
Thank you. Go on.
It says that for me, it's enlightening me more. And to my own perspective, who we are, this is our generation. We are seeing it as an exposure. We think we are civilized. We think everything that has an advantage do have a disadvantage. So I believe so. From my own view of life. So it's good. It's easy. It's easy to communicate and every other part. But in another way around, I believe in person, see in person, communicate in person, connection in person. I think I'm good in that, and I prefer that to communicating digitally. I cannot see you, you cannot see me, and some things that maybe I would like to
even
tell
see the
you
body
that
language too, and know exactly what that person is doing.
Thank you so much. I love that. Even the body language and but communicating. Every time you be communicating, you don't the person, and you don't even. That means you don't even know how the person is doing. You don't even know how the person is. In fact, it really affects, But how do we do it? Just be kind of. Every woman has his or her own kind of life to play, and if you see that one is okay by you, you go for it. But for me, I think I advise in person too is good. Be in person, connection, one-on-one. Guys, see how things I have on me, and the person too look at you that this person too truly is not okay, it's not healthy. The person will consider that too. But when you communicate with the person, some people will even look at it that you are not serious for what you are talking about. So for me, it's good, and at times let's do that person one-on-one
conversation. Yes,
conversation. Thank you.
All right.
So that's my contribution. Thank you, ma.
Thank you so much, Chrisman, for calling in to be part of the show this morning. This is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And I'm your host on the show. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior. And this morning, our focus is over reliance on digital communication. And you also can call in to be part of this conversation and let us hear your thoughts on this over reliance on digital communication. And the number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. It's 0807 773 3336. We are talking about over reliance on digital communication. So call in and let us hear from you. And we heard from Chris Man, and he is saying that why people actually rely so much on digital communication is because it's easy, right? You just have to take your phone and then send a text to someone who is miles away from you, even in another country, in a different state. You can just send that, because you can say, okay, you're going to travel, and then go and send certain kind of message. It actually made things easier, to communicate. But what the problem is that people are relying too much on that, thereby forgetting some of the things that are necessary, that must be communicated, in real life, to actually read those connections to. And he mentioned that we're talking something about, body language as well, because sometimes truly that helps. You're able to study and know that, okay, this is the kind of person I am dealing with. This is how confident that person is, because some persons are actually confident behind the screen, but then when it comes to real life, you don't know that. Imagine interviewing with someone, okay, from behind the screen, maybe for them to represent you somewhere, and then they seem all confident, they are able to do things all confidently, and then when you finally meet them, and maybe that's even the due date, they actually disappoint because the confidence was never there to start with. And for you to be able to, know that was not there, it's something like you would have had to had gone through like a physical communication to be able to know that, okay, this is what this person is capable of, on this is his downside, his or her downside. But then you missed all on that because it was only that digital communication. It was probably a virtual interviews. Not to say that those virtual interviews are bad, but to what extent do you get to know someone from there? And people just pass through that, and then it's slowly taking over us. And also, Chrisma was talking about people losing real life connections, just like we have been saying, and he personally prefers to communicate in person, but then he's forced to communicate digitally all the time because that is what is raining, or that is what most people are doing, and everyone is getting lazy to actually come out and then do something. Everyone is getting lazy to actually come out and then communicate. And then he spoke about our earlier caller, Abdullah, spoke about how it's affecting even our children, with things of even when it comes to school stuff, that confidence that they used to have. People are getting too used to talking to maybe artificial intelligence and other persons online, and then forgetting about the real life connection. I mean, anything you ask, with the way that AI has come far, you can actually ask them even personal stuff that maybe you'd have tried to maybe settle out on your own, or even talk to someone in real life. But everyone is becoming a self-doctor online. Like, I have to just ask, why is the left side of my stomach, why is it painful? And then there is someone there to give you that information, someone to communicate with you and then tell you, okay, if the side of your stomach feels painful, then it means, well, you have this disease. And people just buy that and go ahead and self-medicate for things that they don't know about. So call in and be part of the show this morning. And if you have just joined us, this is the Speed Lane on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And we're talking about over-reliance on digital communication. And the number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. It's 0807 773 3336. We are talking about over reliance on digital communication. So call in and let us hear from you. Hello. All right. Well, do not back down. Keep trying, and maybe you will catch up with us and let us hear what you think and how you think that this over reliance is actually affecting us. Hello. Yes. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning.
Yeah. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Fred Samson, and I'm calling from Jolly Quarters.
Welcome to the show, Samson.
Thank you.
Go on.
Yeah, I just want to appreciate you guys for the topic you brought up this morning. It's very interesting.
Okay, thank you. So, can you hear us, Samson?
And I'm happy listening to you guys.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So what about you? Do you prefer to communicate like in real life more or online?
Yeah, I prefer to communicate online more than real life, because if you're communicating online, it's more faster and easier for you. But the communication now do affect most of us, because back when I was in secondary school, I wouldn't have time to read again because I was carried away by my phone. I didn't have time to read my book again. So it's really affecting me negatively.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Samson, for calling in to be part of the show this morning. Samson is saying that he is actually one of those persons who prefer, in fact, a lot of persons actually prefer, that online communication, to actually communicating in real life. But then he is also looking at it from another direction, that it was like a distraction to him because he was focused too much on even talking to people on phone or seeing things online, getting things, information, this and that from online, and then in turn he was distracted. Now, while we can use these online, tools that have been developed for us to use online, not using it correctly or relying too much on them can be doing more harm than good to us in real life, because even the things that you would have thought about, maybe to even use your brain and then do something, well, you want to check what is the meaning of is online, or you want to ask artificial intelligence to tell you, okay, what does this mean, or how do I say hello to someone in a manner that would do this, would do that, and that person is right there in front, or someone is telling you that, okay, I need to your child is actually misbehaving in school, or your child is actually doing this in school, and well, I need you to talk to them as a parent, or try to like find out what is going on, and then someone is going online to go and ask some form of artificial intelligence, okay, what should I reply to that teacher in this sense? Nobody wants to actually use their own brain to build that connection with what is actually coming to their minds or how they feel. And this also happens even when it comes to like personal relationships. Someone will not say their mind and be looking for what is actually fit, and you're just sitting there and maybe AI is telling you this is how you reply to this person, or this is what you tell this person to make you have your maybe you haven't brought down yourself, your shoulders are still high, this and that. And everyone is actually most people are actually losing focus from what is that connection in real life, and then placing it on that digital communication. So call in and let us hear from you this morning. We are talking about over reliance on digital communication. How do you think that this is affecting us? Why do you think that people do it? And what can we actually do better? Number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. It's 0807 773 3336. Over reliance on digital communication. Call in and let us hear from you this morning. Let us hear your opinion. Let us hear if you prefer to actually communicate online or physically. Hello.
Yes, good morning, yo.
Yes.
City.
Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, the Chinese. I'm calling from the Masodi.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. How are you dinner?
We are fine. We're talking about over reliance on digital communication.
Yes, this AI is a good thing. Like me, I get online shop. Managing the car collection on Connect Nigerian TV. It's good. As a consultant, it's good though. But I say the way I see it now is as if, due to my own experience, it slows this thing. Employment.
Okay.
Somehow, if you have everything, I have everything, you have security, you have all the locks, have everything, office, secretary, everything. So it's something that makes you get lazy, because everybody just go on digital, go on online and get it. So it's not, to me, it's not.
It's making people lazy.
It's not acceptable to me in this, our present state of economy in Nigeria, in Africa now. At least we need to be helping people with small, that all those cleaner too, you have secretary too in your office. Somehow then 30% should be given to the computer.
Okay.
Because the same thing, filing, documenting is everything if you have staff. Yes, but some people say it's cheap. So it makes things easy, but we should look into it the other way around, because if we put it in prayer, it will just
so how about with like a real life connection, maybe going to see friends or even check on your family? Have you noticed that maybe people just prefer to maybe even call without even going to see how maybe their families are doing, just text and then that is all?
Yes, and it's all about filing now. So it's easy for you, just like your Android phone. But calling, people call you directly, but you can still set it automatic, so it's not accepted to me. I don't like it.
All right.
Because I am into the game, so it's not not funny.
Okay.
At times you don't even get information if you don't have any. So, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in to be part of the show this morning. We just heard from him, and he commented directly first, on when we talk about artificial intelligence, and he was talking about it slowing, even employment, and he was talking about making people lazy, everyone lazy to actually reach out to the other person or even do work because, the artificial intelligence can actually make it seem like, you are online or you're communicating virtually, you're present in that meeting while you're just relaxing somewhere, or you're not actually focusing on it. But then it appears that you are doing that. And then people, knowing that, everyone these days is not even trying to maybe even connect or actually look for solutions to things. And they will even go online. If you even give people this work, they are saying, okay, this artificial intelligence is stealing, they will still go back to that same artificial intelligence and try to look for information or try to communicate with it and then get something out maybe to submit in real life without even going through it. People give the prompt exactly as they would like to take it, and then just submit it as that, which is even making it more necessary. People have been developing, what will be able to detect that this thing is actually coming from a human actually came up with this kind of communication, with this kind of information, and not an AI. So you also can call in to be part of this conversation, and the number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. It's 0807 Speed FM, and that is 0807 773 3336. Why are we relying too much on digital communication? Call in and let us hear from you, and let us talk about how it affects us all, whether with personal life, even when it comes to workspaces, our schools, education. Call in and let us hear from you. And talking about this effect, when we talk about digital communication, people talk about easy, faster, which means it cannot be all bad, right? Because it actually helps people staying connected over a distance. You can communicate with family, with work, with colleagues from anywhere in the world, and also quick information sharing, right? That is because it is not all bad. What is making it all bad is that over reliance, and also convenience. You send messages anytime without scheduling even a meeting or travel, keeping record, accessibility, time saving, collaboration, and then some of those teamwork and emergency communication. That is also something that has helped, emergency communication. But then when we talk about it being too much, when it becomes over, and then it's considered over reliance, then it affects us negatively. So what are the ways that it actually affects us negatively? We mentioned the positives, and if you remember, one of our callers said, anything that has advantages, it has disadvantages, and sometimes the advantages are more, sometimes the disadvantages are more. But when we talk about over reliance, because it's too much, then definitely the disadvantages are more. So we talk about weaker face-to-face communication skills. People struggle to even express emotion, read body language, or even handle real life conversations because they have been hiding behind a screen. And then when they come in contact with some of those things they are supposed to deal with in real life, they cannot actually relate with people. They don't understand that this is how I have to communicate, or they don't have the confidence to, because they are used to doing that behind a screen. So you also can call in to be part of this conversation, and the number for you to call is 0807 773 3336. It's 0807 773 3336. Call in and let us hear from you. Let's talk about over reliance on digital communication. Tell us if you're someone who prefers to communicate in real life, or you prefer to do that online, and how do you think that this affects us? Is it positively? Is it negatively? Whatever angle you're looking at it from, even if it's both, call in and let us know. Number for you to call is 0807 773 3336. And also still on those how it affects us negatively. Well, I spoke about weaker face-to-face communication. Something else is shallow relationships. Connections may feel less meaningful because interactions mostly happen online. Some people even maybe forget about this communication or interaction with their own family members. Hello? With their own family members, because they are seeing other people and they feel like, okay, other things are more interesting to look at online. Even misunderstandings, because there have been cases where people communicate and then misunderstand each other online because the tone could not be detected, or the kind of emotion that person is carrying could not be detected. So tone, context, and even emotions are often lost in messages, causing confusion or even conflict. And also social isolation. Some people may feel connected online but lonely in the real life, and that is something that most often leads to depression, because what happens when you don't have a phone, or what happens when you don't have internet? Then you suddenly feel like, okay, there is no one for you in real life. There is nothing you can actually do for yourself in real life. Even reduce empathy, because without real interactions, it's harder to understand other people's feelings. And something else is over dependence, because people avoid solving problems directly and then just rely on text or messages for everything. And you cannot even know if that is the truth or not, because it's easy to just go online and then search for something to reply, and without even understanding the context or without thinking about it. Like, you would think as a human being, okay, you just go and then look for some tools that will draft out some kind of reply or information for you and then just send it, and that is okay to some people. And also distraction and reduce productivity. Constant notifications and messages can interrupt work or schools, right? And also with neglecting family or even community. No one wants to come outside and do those community works, things that people used to come together and they do together. Well, what will happen when a meeting can just hold online, or anybody can say, okay, well, I've lost my leg, or I've lost my arm online, but who needs proof? And even if you need proof, there is actually going to be proof. Hello? Even if you need proof, there is actually going to be proof, because you can find an image online with your own face. Create an image online that is showing, okay, you were involved in an accident. This is why you will not be making it to work. This is why you cannot be doing this, because all of those things are available. But at what cost? We are losing those connections that we have, in real life. And something else we'll talk about is loss of accountability. People may avoid, responsibility because it's easier to hide behind a screen and then just talk. But then when it comes to actually maybe doing it in real life, then that is where they start lagging. And you hear maybe some leaders, whether community leaders in certain areas, tell you about, okay, we are working on this, we are doing this, and maybe everyone is just applauding, okay, this is what this person is doing. But then no one is actually willing to go and connect, or no one is actually willing to go and see in real life that, okay, this is what is happening. Without the presence of this, it would have been a case of people actually maybe sending a few persons, okay, go and verify. They say that, okay, this kind of work is going on in the community and we need to see how far it is going. But it could be a fake image that was just generated and then shown to the people, and then people would buy it because it's making everyone lazy to actually even try to find out what is real or what is not in real life. So you also can call in to be part of this conversation. Before we go, we are talking about over reliance on digital communication, and the number for you to call is 0807 Speed FM. That is 0807 773 3336. It's 0807 773 3336. Call in and let us hear from you today before we go. We're talking about over reliance on digital communication. Tell us how you think it affects us and what we can actually do, to make sure that this doesn't take over and then maybe ruin things for us. Hello? Hello? okay, you're going to have to call back because it's really quiet over there and we cannot hear anything you're saying. And let us hear from you because we're talking about over-reliance on digital communication. So how can we do better, to make sure that we don't lose that connection entirely, or we don't lose everything to because of our over-reliance, on this digital communication. And, in other words, what is the way out? And I'll say one of the things is setting time limits, on screens or prioritizing face-to-face interactions. And then being able to separate what can actually be discussed online from what should be said in real life. Some of those meetings, quite okay, we can do some of these meetings online, but what about the ones that we can do in real life, or the ones that are necessary to do in real life? But then people come up with excuses like, okay, I have to be here, I have to do this, so I would not be able to attend, so let's just do it online. It's even making people lazier, like someone said. So even when those excuses are not real, anyone can just come up with them and then suggest, okay, let's do it in online. I mean, that is not a bad thing. Making a platform for people to be able to communicate and then pass down, emergency information, and then make it convenient for everyone to be able to attend. But to what extent, and how are we making sure that this doesn't take over completely and then start to affect us? And something else I would mention, on how we can actually deal with this is using digital communication intentionally, reserving texting, email, social media for updates and reminders or quick communication, and then avoiding to use those platforms, for meaningful communication. Also, when it comes to families and relationships, like we'd say that they affect, encouraging those family and group activities, and model good communication habits, because if we don't, then it's going to take over and we are just going to be quiet and thinking, okay, that is just development, that is how it's supposed to be, until it's obvious that it has gotten out of hand. And something else is community awareness, teaching children and peers about the importance of real life conversations, so that your child is not confident, behind the screen, and then when he or she is faced with something where they have to defend or even demonstrate in real life, then they shy away because they weren't taught to communicate in real life, they weren't taught to build those real life connections, and they find it difficult. So communication is a two-way street. Screens can help us stay connected, but real conversations build understanding, empathy, and trust. And perhaps the problem isn't technology itself, it's how much we let it replace face-to-face connection. Families, friends, and communities, all benefit when we balance digital communication with real-life interaction. And I've been with you on the speed lane today. My name is Marysyntia Hangeior, and at this point, we have come to the end of the show, and I hope you have enjoyed your time here with us so far. And also coming up next at 10 a.m. after the news is King James 90s Top 10, right here on Asking Radio 98.5 Speed FM. And until then, keep enjoying music of your life, and also don't forget to remember that screens are tools, but conversations are the heart of connection.
Hello, my Cudi. Asking Radio is here.